And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from, and I actually have my book here because this name, and normally a name is easy to just keep in my head and, roll off my tongue, but G Money Play ZYL 2234. You asked the question, who would have fight? Great Ape or Oozaru versus Kurama, the nine-tailed fox. Now, this is tricky because there is no uniform level for Great Ape. No two individuals, Saiyans who can turn into the Great Ape under the light of the full moon, that's what happens, are the same power level. I mean, assuming they don't have the same power. You might get some that obviously have the same power level, but no two individuals, generally speaking, are alike. They're like Snowflake, except, death monkeys that destroyed planets. So what I'm going to do here is really, we're going to look over and I'm not going to use GT, because at that point, it's clear Goku would win. We're going to basically look over the three Oozaru that basically showed up in the series. We're going to look at Goku as a kid, we're going to look at Gohan, and then we're going to look at Vegeta. So, but first off, what is Oozaru? For those of us out there, that one person watching this who probably doesn't know, what is Oozaru, and then what does it bring to the table, and what does Kurama bring to the table? Well, the Saiyan race in Dragon Ball Z are humanoids. I mean, they're human by all appearance, but they are born with tails. And throughout their life, they're fine unless they stare at the full moon, which transforms them into these giant ape beasts. Now, the giant apes, generally speaking, unless you're like someone like Vegeta, someone who has immense willpower, pride, and something along those lines, they generally lose control of themselves in this form. It amplifies their power by 10 times multiplier. However, if the tail is cut off, they will revert back to their normal form. Kurama, though, being the nine-tailed fox, is nowhere near the same. He has more than one tail, obviously, 9 tails. But he is the demon fox. He is the strongest of the tail beasts, sans the Kyubi, but the 10 tails is it's a combination of all of them to begin with. So, of course, it's going to be stronger. Also, he actually is quite intelligent, capable of problem solving, very fast, near limitless supplies of chakra, really. So his energy output, he won't be running out of energy anytime soon. Now, size-wise, to compare, say, Goku or Gohan, compare a Great Ape to Kurama is difficult. Because I had to figure out, kind of get an idea how big Kurama is when I did Gamabunta in one episode. I think I did when I did him versus Godzilla, I used Gamabunta as a comparison. Gamabunta is roughly like 55 meters tall. No, he's not. He's like 55 feet tall. Sorry. Kurama is like 2 or 3 times larger than he is. So that puts him somewhere in the neighborhood of like 150 feet tall. But the question is, how does that actually stack up compared to Oozaru? Because generally speaking, while power-wise they're not, no two Oozarus are alike, size-wise they are generally in the same ballpark. There's probably some exceptions, obviously, though I don't think we ever saw them. They're generally depicted as roughly the same size. So where does that put Goku or an Oozaru compared to Kurama at around 150 feet, give or take? Well, I think, and I'm judging it based on kind of like what we're seeing in these buildings right here, and judging how we kind of see like how Vegeta was kind of towering over some mountaintops. I think Kurama, if we're going to use this picture right, actually, why don't we use the Gohan one? In terms of like, if right here is where the base would be, Kurama probably is maybe a little shorter, but it's not by much. He's definitely longer, and he has more tails. But I think he's just a tad bit shorter, and I think that simply comes from the fact that the Oozaru are bipedal, so that does give them a slight advantage in height. Plus, they actually have, Kurama has arms too, but because he's still on his all fours a lot, it does put him at a disadvantage in terms of like physical combat, whereas the Oozaru all have arms. Oozaru are also capable of launching energy blasts from their mouth. In theory, any technique available to them in their base form is available to him in Oozaru. Just normally don't have the consciousness to use it. Kurama obviously has access to the Tail Beast Bomb. In the anime, he can breathe fire. Immense endurance, regenerative capabilities. Kurama is very powerful. So going down a list, who wins in a fight between Oozaru and Kurama? Like I said, we're going to use the Oozaru we see in the series because, again, no two Saiyans are created equal. The one we're looking at right now is from Dragon Ball with Kid Goku. Kid Goku's power right at that point was around 10. His power level then boosted to 100. The question is, from what we've seen, would Kid Goku be able to defeat Kurama as Oozaru? So this fight goes down. For some reason, Kid Goku transforms in front of Kurama, and now Kurama's fighting off a giant ape. He reminisces about Son. He's like, Son Goku. Huh. I was thinking something completely different, but I guess this kid's also so good. And then he punches him in the face. And Kurama's just like, oh, you jerk! And then basically they go at it for a while. It's kind of a Kong situation here where, except he's not as intelligent. Blast Kurama in the face. Kurama tail beasts him in the face. They'll duke it out. Oozaru Goku would definitely be throwing more effective punches than Kurama could, definitely. So those hits are going to land harder than Kurama's are. Kurama's tails, though, are more versatile, so he could theoretically hold him down with just his tails if he gets him in the right position. But ultimately, at least against Kid Goku, I got to go with Kurama. The reason for that is Kid Goku at this point in time. Now, Kid Goku did go Oozaru again in the tournament, and he was much stronger then. So we, in theory, could use that version. But the problem with this is that on their own, yes, the Oozarus technically are planetary planet killers in some ways. And they may even have the power to destroy a planet, but the problem is they don't have the conscious will to use a technique that would actually destroy the planet. And if by chance they did just use a technique that would destroy the planet, they'd kill themselves in the process. And Kid Goku, again, Roshi, at that point, was a little stronger than Goku, and he was technically a planet buster. Granted, he did have to, at least at that point in time, go into a super buff form to do that, but he still was. Goku, with power level 100, would go to 1,000. That would theoretically put him on planet busting scales. The question is Kurama a planet buster as well? And this is where contention can come in. Some people will definitely say yes. Some people might say no. Some people say it's a combination of Naruto and Kurama. Here's the way I will break it down. Is that Kurama's overall chakra is greater in terms of the amount he has than Naruto's. Let's be honest about that. Naruto, for all his reincarnation of the Sage's son, the fact that he's an Uzumaki, has massive amounts of chakra, he's not a tail beast, though. He still has more chakra, to the best of my knowledge, or he still has less chakra, to the best of my knowledge, than Kurama. He has a butt ton of chakra, don't get me wrong, but Kurama still has more. And Naruto's chakra in the last movie was drained and hollowed out a moon. So I have to believe that if Kurama ultimately wanted to, he probably could, if he put all the power he absolutely had into one single tail beast bomb, jumped up into the sky or shot it from the moon and hit the earth, he might be able to blow up the earth on his own. Otherwise, it's a combination of Naruto and Kurama's powers that let them be a planetary destroyer. Because data books apparently say that Naruto is capable of destroying a planet if he really wanted to. I still find that a hard thing to believe, but whatever. That's what data books say. So Kurama is, by all accounts, a planet buster as well. I think he knows the fact that he can't live in space, so he does that. So he doesn't destroy the planet. Plus, I don't think even he has any real desire to destroy the planet. So I think because Kurama also maintains his intelligence, he would definitely overcome Kid Goku as Oozaru, even if it was martial arts tournament, Kid Goku. Kid Gohan was stronger than Goku by a fair margin. Matter of fact, I believe his power was 720 something, 714 or 725. That we should put him at around 7,000 when he went on Oozaru that time. That one is going to be a lot more hard for Kurama to deal with. Power-wise, his power is just leagues beyond that. Leagues beyond Goku's. He would still probably be able to overpower him, but I think Gohan would be able to out-muscle him, but again, Kurama's intelligence definitely would help him out a lot more because, again, he's just a menacing, raging ape. So eventually he might, I think Kurama eventually would take the win over Oozaru Gohan, simply more or less by knocking him out. He'd probably point-blank range a Tail Beast Bomb in his face and just kind of boom. After, maybe Gohan's trying to crush him and he can't get out. The problem Kurama is going to run into isn't going to be those two. It's going to be Vegeta. Vegeta, while definitely enraged, had control over his Oozaru form. He was completely aware of what he was doing and was relishing it. Add on to the fact that Vegeta is honestly, Vegeta and Saiyan Saga might be enough to beat Kurama. Vegeta could destroy a planet on his own without a problem. See, the thing about Kurama being a planet buster is not the fact that I'm arguing he's a planet buster. I think he probably is, but that's with all of his power. Vegeta can just use just blast the planet out of existence with his finger at the Saiyan Saga. And then you add 10 times that power. Vegeta, without being Oozaru, could beat Kurama. That's where I'm getting at with that. So if Vegeta, without Oozaru, could beat Kurama, Oozaru Vegeta could definitely beat Kurama. So, Kurama will try to put up a decent fight, and it would kind of be a kind of kaiju-esque duking it out, but ultimately, it would not result in a win for Kurama. Kurama would lose that fight. So really, it comes down to how powerful is the person turning into Oozaru, and could they somehow have control over that form? If it were someone, my guess is, if it's someone around a power level of 1,000 to begin with, and then they turn into Oozaru, be it like a Raditz, a Nappa, Vegeta, so forth, so on, then Kurama can't do anything. If it's someone, say, under that marker, say, around 500 or below, I think Kurama stands a shot. As long as they don't have... The biggest thing here is they don't have control over the form. Gohan is league stronger than his dad was at that point in time, and Kurama would certainly have difficulty dealing with him, but Kurama would also be able to outsmart him because that Gohan was ruled by his emotions at that point. So, ultimately, 2 out of 3, I gotta go Kurama, but it all depends on who you're really putting him against. If it's Broly, if it's if you were somehow do a Oozaru Caulifla or Tail, not that would be a thing, because they don't have tails, obviously. But if you were to do that, say Oozaru Trunks or Goten somehow, they would completely decimate Kurama on nothing more, if nothing else, on sheer power alone. At that point, there's nothing Kurama could do against them, just because their powers would completely dwarf his. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that. What do you think? Do you think it's Oozaru forms, or do you think it is Kurama? Put in the comments below, let me know. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, who wants to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. I'll be back. Next week's the week of What If, so keep your eyes out for that. Think words here. I'll be back with my review, actually, for Jumanji Next Level. I'm just going to bump the What If till tomorrow. I've been putting it off. Really, it's just, A, because this has been one of the more complicated What Ifs to do, and B, been really busy, really tired, so work and all that. But yeah, I'll get to it tomorrow because I'm doing some shopping. I'm gonna see probably Richard Jewell tomorrow because that's the only one I can find that's available to see. Richard Jewell, Uncut Gems, Bombshells, those are all coming out this week. But unfortunately, Richard Jewell's the only other Oscar movie I've seen that came out. So seeing that next week or tomorrow if I can help it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back in a little bit with Jumanji. Later.